Peace to all the tribes, man. Make sure you hit that like and share this live, man. You already know how we rocking, man. So let them know, man. It's up. The Hawks is out. You know what I'm talking about? You know what time it is when the Hawks come out, man. Somebody tell them what time it is.
Preaching rapture and disappearing, and it's known, it's written, that the righteous shall inherit the kingdom of God, the earth, and the wicked shall be shaken out.
I know ain't nobody seeing me, bro. I know it, bro. I know I'm a legend, bro.
I'm telling the truth when I'm teaching you. Call this story telling the truth.
What's this guy's name? It's something Hawk. And it may sound stereotypical, but dude looks like he's done some time and sounds like he's done some time.
Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. You got me now. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop.
Peace to the tribes. Peace to the tribes. Yo. Live from the Immaculate Republic of Atlantis. You already know what it is. It's the Incredible Hawk. Too high for pigeons to fly, walk on the water, live in the sky. You know what I'm talking about?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Instant Yaki on some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
Oh man, I got a treat for y'all tonight, boy. Let me gonna share this, cause you know they wanna hide me. You know what I'm talking about? So we're gonna go ahead and hit that share. You know what I'm talking about? If you haven't, man. And we about to fuck them up. We about to fuck them up. Live from the Immaculate. Did I say Immaculate? That's correct. Immaculate. Blemish free. You see all these stripes on me?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking...
Let me get this banner on here for y'all, man, so you see how we rocking, man. We got the keys, you know what I'm talking about? We got the keys, Atlantis.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
We're gonna clean up a whole lot of confusion. We know they hide our numbers, you know, they pretend to not watch us. You know what I'm talking about? We know. We know, because we them hawks. See if we can't get a few more people in here before we get into it. If you haven't already hit that share, go ahead and hit that share. You know what I'm talking about? Turn this volume down so I can get in the chat, tap in with the tribes. Let me get some gems if you hear me loud and clear. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, we about to fuck them up, tribe. And the beautiful thing is, like always, I've actually learned a lot, you know, and I got a lot of live streams scheduled. Every one you see, I will be doing. It's just, as I study, I learn more and more. And man, I down there didn't even do this live stream because I was down the rabbit hole. Straight up. Shout out to my motherfucking brother and his bitch, the Godfeather, Tribe. Aim Major. Eastside 1415. All the Nighthawks. All the Nighthawks out. Man, it's gonna be a classic jewel drop, man, because I'm about to connect a lot of dots, and not only that, but we about to learn a lot about our history here in America. It's a lot of misconception, you know what I'm saying, about who we are, how we live, what our culture is. A lot of lies, you know what I'm saying? A lot of spies, you know what I'm talking about?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking...
Shout out Darius Matthews in here. They'll come on in, tribe. You know, we night hawking. And they hide my stream. We them hawks, man. You see, it's gonna keep going up, man. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel. I do it for us. And I just want to let y'all know in advance, don't be scared to goddamn support the channel just because your nigga be coming through fresh. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that fool you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Quiet Storm Sean in here. Tribe. They'll come on in, man, once we get the goddamn cooking. You know how they do. They got to come in and listen, man, so they know what to make their new video about. It seems like nigga be listening to me, Tribe, and goddamn everything come out my mouth. Nigga make a video about that motherfucker. You want a little homeboy? Shit, that nigga got to be listening to us talk. No sooner than I talk about being a motherfucking Scottish Highlander, this nigga dropping whole video, but it's all good. You know, I do it for us. You know what I'm saying? Tribe.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Really nothing but an antisocial gangster. He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference, because this is a gangster with a conscience. I don't know.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking.
All right, man. Let me get straight to goddamn cooking these niggas, Tribe. It's actually gonna be a 2-part to this series. Well, I've already got 2 parts to the series set up. It may be a 3-part series. We're gonna start with a brief video just to get it goddamn going and to give everybody time to get in. You know, it's only a little 5 minutes or some shit. Just give you a little brief background. But, you know, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, scriptures and religion and Islam and Christianity. And, you know, we're here to clear that up. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what we do.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Because I do not pray.
That's St. Claude I read.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
You know, we also gonna, you know, we're gonna do a little more building on this whole Atlantis subject, because I want to make sure that all of the Hawk School alumni have a solid foundation on everything that we build on over here. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come through with these the darts that kill the red eagle, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story. I had to do a video about some Aboriginal folklore, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get it started here.
Knowledge about America dates back quite far, so let's go back to the 1st century after the Hijrah. There was a person who lived in the time of Caliph Omar. His name was Imam al-Shabi. This scholar made an extraordinary claim. Abu Bakr al-Khalal recorded his words in a book. There are slaves of Allah who live further than Al-Andalus. They are at the same distance to Andalus as us. They are undoubtedly obedient to the Creator. The grounds are covered in rubies and diamonds, and their mountains are filled with gold and
Hey, these niggas ain't ready for this shit, Godfather. I'm about to fuck them up, Tribe. You know I do it for us. That's why y'all niggas vote for Hawk School, because you know a vote for Hawk School is a vote for the fucking win. Press 1.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Because I do not pray.
That's St. Claude I read.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Now I'm gonna show y'all what happened, and really because we do know so much over here at Hawk School, you know what I mean? We big hawking, and shit is starting to really come together. You know what I'm saying? As far as the pieces to the puzzle, I'm starting to see who's the real what, who's the fake what. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yeah.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster. He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need no gun to do my thing. Mao Zedong said that power grows out the barrel of a gun. He never said that power was a gun. That's why I don't need no gun to do my thing. What I need is some freedom. What I need is the power to determine my destiny.
His words in a book. There are slaves of Allah who made an extraordinary person who lived in the time of Caliph Omar. His name was Imam al-Shabi. This scholar made an extraordinary claim. Abu Bakr al-Khalal recorded his words in a book. There are slaves of Allah who live further than Al-Andalus. They are at the same distance to Andalus as us. They are undoubtedly obedient to the Creator. The grounds are covered in rubies and diamonds, and their mountains are filled with gold and silver. They neither plant anything, nor do they work. They feed from trees that bear fruits and dress from trees with large leaves. If you know a bit about history, then you know that he was describing the first native people of America.
We still here. Now, see, you got to be careful because they'll show you some butt naked ass goddamn foreigner and put them right in the middle of your story and have you confused. Let's reread that description real quick. He said there are slaves of Allah. When he says slaves, he means servants, all right? He translating, all right? The Arabic is Abdallah. That's what Abdullah means. Abdallah, servant of God. All right, slave of God. He said there are slaves of Allah who live further than Al-Andalus. They are the same distance to Andalus as us. They are undoubtedly obedient to the Creator. The grounds are covered in rubies and diamonds, and their mountains are filled with gold and silver. They neither plant anything nor do they work. They feed from trees that bear fruit and dress from trees with large leaves. They didn't know them was some feathers, though. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I got some shit for y'all. We just gonna let it run, you know. I have an abundance of gold, silver, and various rich fruits. This is a description of Atlantis. This is a visit to Atlantis. All right? And I will, of course, prove that further as we get along, get a few more people in here. It ain't what you think. We ain't talking about Moors, we talking about Muslims. See, don't be like the white man. He can't tell the difference. He don't know a Mexican from a Puerto Rican. I do. Why don't we just go ahead and get off the video, get heavyweight on them all. You know how we do. You know how we do. And really, it's like, it's so much to this shit, bro. That's why I get down the rabbit hole, I get to rolling up, smoking, and I just be going, bro. And then I really strive to retain, you know what I'm saying, the most important parts to bring, you know what I'm saying, to my people, share it with them. StreamYard, you know, they be fucking with niggas' computers and shit. It's cool though. Hey man, how about when I did the shit with the goddamn not see, right? I did that video. Y'all know how the video shut down early and shit. I don't think I even went live since that. I don't know. But nigga, I had to take my whole motherfucking computer apart, nigga. You know what the fuck they did to my shit, bro? Straight up. I looked the shit up, and the only way to fix it was to take the computer apart, my nigga. I had to take the motherfucking lid off that bitch. Nigga, no, you know what I'm saying? Take the lid out that bitch. I had to unplug everything from the motherboards, all this shit. I had to take out the goddamn battery to the clock. I had to take out the RAMs. Nigga, I didn't even know I could do that shit, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I just looked up like what the fuck was wrong with my computer because the motherfucking orange light was just flashing on that bitch, nigga. Live stream shut down and the orange light just flashing. Nigga, so my whole shit shut down. I'm like, what the fuck? That bitch won't even turn on. I looked the shit up, some little Indian Punjabi nigga, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I followed them instructions, boy, and we back.
Cause you gon' smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
It's really like I don't know where to start. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know where to start. But I'm gonna bring you the clarity you've been looking for. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, shit's about to get deep. Y'all don't know about Lil Steven, do y'all? Esteban de Dorantes or Mustafa Azamore. Huh? Watch this shit. And really, like, niggas don't even know this history, like, not like I do. Oh man, we got all types of shit, dog. Scholarly shit, you know what I'm saying? This is from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it's up. Yeah, it's up. Yeah, it's up. Fuck these niggas talking about some 1980 ass shit. The fuck? Shut the fuck up!
Cause you gon' smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
And you know, this was an interesting story. Aluda Equiano, you know what I'm saying? It's one of these Muslim so-called slaves. And the most interesting part that I read about him was here where it says, the king recognized Equiano's skills and put him to work in marketing rather than in the fields. In 1766, after 3 years in his service, the king allowed Equiano to purchase his own freedom, and as a free man, Equiano turned to his sailing experience to earn a living and sailed the Mediterranean and Atlantic, including some adventurous scientific explorations.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Now, of course, we do have a spoiler alert. This nigga did betray us. We'll get to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I also find it interesting. You know, niggas always talking about this old Queen Khalifa shit. They don't even know where that story comes from. But we're going to tell you on Hawk School. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to it tonight. I find it very interesting that the term caliph, which is derived from the Arabic word khalifa, actually means successor, steward, or deputy. Successor to the messenger of God.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
You know what I'm talking about? Now, they're going to be real mad about this one, tribe, because we about to totally just dismantle all of these Jesuit Freemason ass niggas with all this bullshit they be trying to press. We finna dismantle all of it today, not tomorrow, today. Press one.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimidate on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
We'll get to that. I'm just scrolling.
I found this surprising.
Not yet. I'm just scrolling through, seeing what we got here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Oh, shit about to get crazy. I guess I'll just start reading through the tabs. And there's some hijacking here, but I've gotten rid of all of it. Well, most of it. That's our blueprint right there. We don't want to do Estebancio first. Definitely not this pink motherfucker. We'll get to him in just a second.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimidate on some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Let's start here, why don't we? That's how I'm going to let the spirit guide me like you do. It said Yarrow Mahmoud was a formerly enslaved African entrepreneur and property owner in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. I said a former enslaved and property owner. Wait, what year is this? Well, never mind. It'll all come together. I'm about to show you the kingdom of Atlantis, my nigga. I'm literally about to show you our kingdom that was stolen from us. Like literally, bro. Salute Big Dog Philly OG. I see you in here. Tribe. Salute. And you know, I really want to start from the beginning of it, but it's so much to cover. I'm just gonna kind of freestyle through it. You know what I mean? And start with Most Def Granddaddy right here. Press 1. I see Mo Naga in here. Tribe.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Yara Mahmoud was formerly enslaved African entrepreneur and property owner in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., an educated Fulani Muslim. He gained his freedom in 1796. I said, an educated Fulani Muslim. He gained his freedom in 1796. They didn't say, you know what, I'm going to just stay away from the commentary because this shit that's about to go down, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but it's going to help. It's like medicine. You know how it's nasty when it go down, but you feel better when you wake up. That's what we doing over here.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's Cyclone Highway.
Yes, Tabernacle, Sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Now, as an educated Fulani Muslim, he gained his freedom in 1796 after 44 years as a slave. James Alexander Simpson and Charles Wilson Peale painted his portrait. Peale's being held in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. All right. It says this is a portrait by Charles Wilson Peale. Oh, wait till you find out who he is. Yara was born in West Africa circa 1736, okay? 1736. Did I say 1736? Okay. I don't know what niggas getting their lessons, but you know, these some plus degrees. We're gonna put you up on them. Follow me. It said Yara was born in West Africa, circa 1736. His African name was probably Mamadou Yaro. The name Yaro Mahmoud was popularized through the diary of his portraitist, Charles Wilson Peale. Oh, we'll get to him. It's not his time. He was enslaved and taken to Annapolis, Maryland from Guinea in 1752, okay? On the slave ship Elijah, okay? See, niggas be knowing shit. You know what I'm talking about? But they don't. A member of the Fulani people, he spoke the Fula language and could read and write Arabic and rudimentary English. Historians believe that he came from a wealthy and educated Muslim family, all right? Upon his arrival in Maryland, Yara was sold to Samuel Beale, who owned a plantation in Tacoma Park. He became Peale's manservant and later served his son Brooke. By 1790, Yara had moved with Beale to Georgetown and begun hiring himself out for wages. According to the contemporaneous sources, Beale required him to turn over wages he earned during the day, but allowed him to keep wages he received for nocturnal work. He became a jack of all trades, working as a brickmaker, charcoal burner, basket weaver, cart driver, and stevedore, working long hours to earn money to buy his own freedom.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
Now, his story is pretty sad, to tell you the truth. And, you know, these niggas that's faces are easy to find. You know, they usually playing for the other side. But what he did help me find that is not only, well, he does, of course, prove the presence of Islam in America. You know, what year was this? We'll say late 1700s. We'll give it to him. This, you know, this light work right now. We just laying down the foundation. But What he did lead me to find is this interesting character, Charles Wilson Peele, this devil, all right? Charles Wilson Peele, guess who he is? Who got the Muslim all chained up, stealing all his secrets. Charles Wilson Peele, April 15, 1741 to 1827, was an American painter, soldier, scientist, inventor, politician, and naturalist. He is best remembered for his portrait paintings of leading figures of the American Revolution and for establishing one of the first museums in the United States. All right? They about to change your history. All right? Sons of Liberty. Let's get rid of him. So my premise is they've been stealing knowledge from us. Here you have Estevancio. Now, Estevancio first appears as a slave in Portuguese records in Morocco, with him being sold to a Spanish nobleman in about 1521. Okay? In 1527, he joined the Spanish Narvaez expedition to explore La Florida, present-day northern Mexico, and southern United States. Is this in the 1500s? Okay. He has been referred to as the first great African man in America. He became a folk hero in the folklore of Spain and a legend in New Spain. His explorations and cataloging of the Gulf of Mexico and what is today modern Florida and Texas resulted in numerous legends about him during his final exploration and disappearance in New Mexico and what would become the southwestern United States. He became mythologized as part of stories involving the 7 cities of gold in Santa Fe, New Mexico. All right? So it's a myth. This is a statue portraying him. All right? Esteban de Durantes, interpreter in the early exploration of the conquest of the Americas. Let's get to some collegiate shit, man. So, you know, this is Atlantis. These niggas ain't on what we on. And I'm gonna make it all come together. Now, let's not forget, this is something I found, what's this, RT News? Russia and former Soviet Union. It says Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan says the Muslim faith was widespread, and I quote, quote unquote, 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 widespread in America before the arrival. I said, hold on, y'all. Relax. Just be cool. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan says the Muslim faith was widespread in America before the arrival of Columbus in the 15th century and insists that a massive mosque should be erected in Havana, despite the city's refusal to grant building permits. I gotta let the Slavs tell them, y'all. I gotta let the Slavs tell them. The religion of Islam was widespread before Columbus, quote unquote. The longtime Turkish leader told the audience at the first ever Latin American Muslim Leaders Summit in Istanbul, as cited by Harriet Daily News. Y'all didn't get the memo about the Latin American Muslim Leaders Summit in Istanbul, Turkey? Oh, never mind. Muslim sailors had arrived in the shores of America in 1178. In his diaries, Christopher Columbus referred to the presence of a mosque on top of a mountain in Cuba. I said Muslim sailors had arrived in the shores of America in 1178. Now, that's still late, y'all. That's a spoiler alert. We ain't even gonna go. We got to go to part 2 to get back to where, it's really going down. But I digress.
The birds of prey, the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
Yeah.
Because you going to smell my cologne.
Yeah.
Intimate on the bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
I planned an all-nighter for this one, y'all. No rest for the weary, sleep is for the weak. We riding, we ain't hiding.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucker.
Yeah, they crazy, man. Let me get back to where I was. The claim comes from a 1996 paper from Yusuf Moreau of the Asuna Foundation in America. Quote, Columbus admitted in his papers that on Monday, October 21st, 1492 CE, while his ship was sailing near Jibara on the northeast coast of Cuba, he saw a mosque on top of a beautiful mountain, it alleges. Let me see if I can find us a little photo to go with that. I ain't supposed to be on her yet. Everything over here. Oh man, y'all ain't ready for this shit, bro. This shit light, bro. I ain't even said shit yet. That's another statue of Esteban. You see how he portrayed? You know what I'm talking about? You see it. In both modern historical and modern depictions, now we're going back to Esteban. I just want to tell you a little bit about Columbus. We'll get back to that. 1100, you know what I'm saying? 1492, mosque in Cuba, but that ain't really tell you. But I guess we could talk about, among the usual pieces of proof, we could talk about the 1980 paper by Harvard academic Barry Fell, who claimed that some of the ancient engravings in the Americas resembled Muslim fonts. Let's get back to Lil Steven. I don't think they heard me. Did they hear me when I said Harvard? I don't think they heard me when I said Harvard, y'all. Oh, I'm about to explain the feather to you and everything, y'all. I'm about this. This is about to be classic. So there are also references to various transatlantic journeys by Muslims made as far back as the 11th century of explorers bringing back hoards of gold using the relatively sophisticated navigational equipment possessed by the Islamic world at the time. Alternative theories additionally propose that common Indian proper names were bastardizations of Islamic terms. For example, they claim that Seminole is actually Turkish Seminal, or Semites who ran away, while Shawnee, another tribe name, is a derivation of Shawnee, which means the Great Saw. No actual archaeological links, be it buildings or artifacts suggesting contact between the Muslim world and that of pre-Columbian Indians, has been unearthed. Of course. Let's get back to my nigga with the feather up. I'm gonna explain to you, or they'll explain to you. I'll show you why he had the feather up. It said it is unclear what his background was. Some contemporary accounts refer to him as quote unquote Moor. Let me get my popcorn, man. I got my Incredible Hulk on deck. Y'all want to see something else? I'm gonna just throw you a jewel real quick. Some Atlantis shit. You know, niggas say this ain't Atlantis, you know. All right, watch this. You know, a little something light for the tribe. You know what I'm talking about? Let that marinate. It is unclear what his background was. Some contemporary accounts refer to him as, quote, Moor, a term originally applied to Berbers. But most contemporary accounts of his day simply refer to him by his personal nickname, Estevancio Azamore. And El Negro, a common Spanish nickname meaning black. Did we already talk about Tampa, y'all? Hell yeah, we did. Y'all know. Hold on. Wait for it. Let me put my face on the screen so when niggas steal my shit, they gotta goddamn try to edit me out, you know what I'm saying?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on some bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's Safe on Iris.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
And This source is Adorno Rollino and Patrick Charles Pulse, 1999, The Narrative of Kabaza de Vaca, Lincoln and London, University of Nebraska Press, in case you're wondering. Later translations of the Spanish accounts, such as that by Rolina Adorno and Patrick Charles Potts, translated a description of him as the fourth is named Estevancio. He is an Arabic-speaking black man, a native of Azamor. Okay. Another translation done by Professors Martin A. Vavata, University of Tampa. How ironic. And Jose B. Fernandez of the University of Central Florida. Isn't it interesting? They translated the last sentence as the fourth is Estebancio. He is a black Arab and a native of Azamor. As a young man, Estevancio was sold into slavery in 1522. In the Portuguese-controlled Moroccan town of Azamor, on the Atlantic coast, he was sold to Spanish nobleman Andres Dorantes de Carranza, an early Spanish explorer in the Americas, one of the four last survivors of the Narvaez expedition, along with Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca, Dorantes, slave Estevancio, and Alonso del Castillo Maldonado. Slavery in Spain was very different, as it did not take part in the Atlantic slave trade. I said as it did not take part in the Atlantic slave trade, and there were paths to freedom more readily available in the Spanish Empire.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's Cyclone Iraq.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
It is unclear if Azamore was raised Muslim, but Spain did not allow non-Catholics to travel to New Spain, an integral territorial entity of the Spanish Empire established by Habsburg Spain during the Spanish colonization of the Americas, and having its capital in Mexico City, its jurisdiction. So he would have been part of the Catholic Church in order to join the expedition. His Christian name, Estevan, is a Spanish form of Stephen, implies that he was baptized as Catholic. The expedition of some 300 men, led by the newly appointed Adelantado, governor of La Florida, Panfilio de Narvaez, left Cuba in February 1528, intending to go to Isle de la Palmas near present-day Tampico, Mexico, to establish two settlements. Storms and strong winds forced the fleet to the western coast of Florida. The Narvaez expedition landed in present-day St. Petersburg, Florida. On the shores of Boca Chica Bay, Narvaez ordered his ships and 100 men and 10 women to sail north in search of a large harbor that his pilots assured them was nearby. He led another 300 men with 42 horses north along the coast, intending to rejoin his ships at the large harbor. There is no large harbor north of Boca Chica Bay, and Narvaez never saw his ships again. After marching 300 miles north and having armed confrontations with Native Americans, the survivors built boats to sail westward along the Gulf Coast shoreline, hoping to reach Panuco and the Rio de la Palmas. A storm struck when they were near Galveston Island, Texas. Approximately 80 men survived the storm, being washed ashore at Galveston Island. After 1519, 3 survivors from one boat, including Estevancio, shout out Estevancio, yeah, man, I'm cooking. I told you it's a barbecue at Hawk School. It's a barbecue at Hawk School. Fucking them up. Estevancio became a slave by Cuahualtecan Indians in 1532. They were reunited with a survivor from a different boat, Alvar Nunez Cabaza de Vaca, one of 4 survivors of the 1527 Narvaez expedition. During 8 years of traveling across what is now the U.S. Southwest, he became a trader and faith healer to various Native American tribes. The 4 spent years enslaved on Texas barrier islands. In 1534, the 4 survivors escaped into the American interior and became medicine men. I said became medicine men. Hold on.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
I said in 1534, the 4 survivors escaped into the American interior and became medicine men. The 4 men, Cabaza de Vaca, Andres Dorantes de Carranza, Alonso del Castillo, Maldonado, and Esteban, escaped captivity in 1534 and traveled west in present-day Texas, southeastern U.S., and northern Mexico. They were the first Europeans and Africans, quote-unquote, to enter the American West, having walked nearly 2,000 miles since their initial landing in Florida. They finally reached a Spanish settlement in Cianola. They traveled there from Mexico City, 1,000 miles to the south, as medicine men. They were treated with great respect and offered food, shelter, and gifts, and villages held celebrations in their honor. When they decided they wanted to leave, the host village would guide them to the next village.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Nothing but an antisocial gangster. He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story. But a gangster with a difference, because this is a gangster with a conscience.
I don't need to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give you, tonight, you about to get your culture back. You about to find your people. You find your lost people. You going to find how they try to connect you to Africa. I'm going to show you how you connect. Watch how all this, I'm going to flip everything right side up on this one. You better read a fucking book, tribe. As medicine men, they were treated with great respect and offered food, shelter, and gifts, and villages held celebrations in their honor. When they decided they wanted to leave, the host village would guide them to the next village. Sometimes as many as 3,000 people would follow them to the next village, huh? Allahu Akbar, nigga. Take that, take that, take that, take that. Hey, man, I be trying to tell these niggas we have been chosen for what we doing, man. Shit different. You know what I'm saying? Shit different when you ain't a puppet. You see these puppets on puppets on puppets on puppets with the gin on top?
Cause we gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on the bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
That's for another bill. The party traversed the continent as far as western Mexico into the Sonoran Desert to the region of Sonora and New Spain, present-day Mexico. After finding a small Spanish settlement, the 4 survivors traveled 1,000 miles to the Mexico City, arriving in Julius 1536. Is this nigga Jesus tribe? The party traversed the continent as far as western Mexico into the Sonoran Desert into the region of Sonora in New Spain. All right, hold on. Yeah, pull it. Where is that? Pull it up. You see this nigga walk too? From Florida? After finding a small Spanish settlement, the 4 survivors traveled 1,000 miles to the south to Mexico City, arriving in July 1536. Cabaza de Vaca published in The Relacion, a book about their 8-year survival journey in 1542, and included information about Estevancio. It was reprinted again in 1555. It was the first published book to describe the peoples, wildlife, flora, and fauna of the inland North America, and the first to describe the American bison. The first. It says, in the Relacion, Cabaza de la Vaca often referred to Asmori as the one who went in advance of the other 3 survivors, as Esteban had learned some parts of the indigenous language. In Mexico City, the 4 survivors told stories of wealthy indigenous tribes to the north in 7 cities of Cibola, which created a stir among Spaniards in Mexico. When the 3 Spaniards declined to lead an expedition, I said, when the 3 Spaniards declined to lead an expedition to the north, Antonio de Mendoza, the viceroy of New Spain, appointed Estevancio as the guide in expeditions to the north. In 1539, Estevancio left Mexico City, traveled to Sonora, and accompanied Friar Marcos de Niza as the guide in search of the fabled 7 cities of Cibola. Preceding Coronado by a year, Estevancio was chosen by the Viceroy of New Spain in 1539 to serve as the main guide for a return expedition to the southwest, led by Fray Marcos de Niza. He's credited with being the first European in what is now the state of Arizona in the United States. He traveled ahead of the main party with a group of Sonoran Indians. He was instructed to communicate by sending back crosses to the main party with the size of the cross equal to the wealth discovered. One day a cross arrived. One day a cross arrived that was as tall as a person, causing Deniza to step up his pace to join the scouts. He had apparently reached the village of Hawuka in present-day New Mexico. There is no first-person account of what took place at Jauja. According to the Marcos de Niza account, they reportedly killed him and a large number of northern Mexican Indians who had accompanied him. After hearing this, de Niza quickly returned to Spain.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimidate on some ball number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Marcos de Niza reported in his own Relación that Estevancio was killed in the pueblo of Jauja in 1539. The Sonorans that accompanied him reported a Zamore's death to Friar Marcos de Niza. Where is this coming from? George Hammond and Acevedo Rey, Narratives of the Coronado Expedition, Albuquerque, University of New Mexico Press, 1940. There is no certainty as to the cause or manner of Estevancio's death, and likely never will be. Virtually all stories of his death are based on legend or speculation. Some historians suggest that he was killed because the Zuni did not believe his story that he represented a party of Europeans who were following him. He like, these motherfuckers chasing me, dog. Others speculate that he was killed for demanding turquoise and women. Roberts wrote that Esteban, who was North African, wore owl feathers, and carried a medicine man's gourd, may have been seen by the Zuni as impersonating a medicine man, which they punished by death. Others believe he may have resembled an evil sorcerer who existed in the Zuni religion, the Chakawana Kachina. Juan Francisco Mora suggested in 2002 that Zuni did not kill Estevancio, but rather he and his friends remained among the Ashui, who probably helped him fake his death so he could regain his freedom. Some folklore say that Kachina is a spirit being and religious beliefs of the Pueblo peoples of Native American cultures located in the southwestern part of the United States. In the Pueblo cultures, Kachina rites are practiced by the Hopi, Zuni, Hopi, Tiwa, and certain Karasan tribes, as well as in most Pueblo tribes. Some folklore legends say that the Kachina figure, Chakwana, is a Kachina which appears in Hopi, Zuni, and Karasan ceremonies, but does not appear in Tewa ceremonies, although imagery of the Kachina is varied, usually depicted as a ogre with ferocious teeth and a black goatee and a black mask with yellow eyes. Of course it does. Now. You see it? You see him? It's based on Azamore. In any case, legends of his disappearance in the Nuevo Mexico region ultimately led to the backdrop for the Tigui War. The Indiana Muslim Morocco. Here's a statue believe this is in Portugal, of Estebancio. The images of him
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimiyaki on some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
told you I'm gonna fuck him up. Law walk bar, nigga.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimiyaki on some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Here's another portrayal of this runaway slave. Let me stay on track. I have so much more. This is coming from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. In the 1700s, approximately 5% of the pre-colonial United States was Muslim. Most of them were enslaved, and one of the foundational figures of early American Islam lived in North Carolina. Omar ibn Said has confounded scholars and translators for more than a century. An educated scholar from an aristocratic family, Said was enslaved and brought to the port of Charleston in 1807. Did I say 1807? His autobiography is written in Arabic with a Southern accent.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimiyaki on some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
His autobiography is written in Arabic with a Southern accent and includes references to West African locations and Sufi literature. In it, Said attacked his enslavers and the conditions of the American South while also illuminating his struggle to overcome the psychological imprisonment of slavery. We're also going to be taking a trip to Morocco, tribe. That's going to be another video, so watch for the thumbnail. I might just do these back to back to back to back. You know what I'm talking about? Let's play this audio.
At the time of the American Revolution, 5% of the population in the 13 colonies was Muslim, mostly enslaved people from West Africa. The role of Islam in shaping American identity can be tracked back to the 1500s and also noted in the writing of founding fathers. In fact, the first country to acknowledge American nationhood was the Sultanate of Morocco. So a key figure in understanding early Muslim American identity is Omar ibn Said. He arrived in the port of Charleston in chains in 1807. And after escaping his first enslaver, Said was recaptured and sold in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where he wrote letters and an autobiography in Arabic. Two scholars have taken on the task of translating the writing and placing it into the proper context. Mbai Lo is a professor of Asian and Middle Eastern Studies at Duke University. Mbai, welcome back to the State of Things.
Thank you for inviting us.
Pleasure to have you, and it's a pleasure to welcome back Carl Ernst, a professor of Islamic Studies at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Hello, Carl.
Hi, Frank.
And let's start with you. Tell us a bit about what we know about Said's background and training in what is now Senegal before enslavement.
Well, thank you for inviting us to discuss this topic. It is very timely and very relevant. Omar ibn Said, that is how he wrote his name, but mostly known in the US and in the academia as Omar ibn Said. That has to do with mistranslation. So according to what we know from Omar's writing, he was born in Futa Toro. Futa Toro is the region is the region around the Senegal River, between Senegal and Mauritania, if you just can imagine the map of West Africa. He was born in 1770, and he was unfortunately taken into slavery in 1807. He doesn't tell us in details what had happened, except his village was invaded and an army sold him to foreigners whom he called Christian. And he was taken to Charleston, South Carolina, where he spent 2 years actually. So we are assuming that Omar arrived in Charleston on January 5th, 1808, because that was the last cargo came from West Africa, because the foreign trade in slavery ceased to exist after that time. And then after 2 years in Charleston in slavery, he ran up north to Fayetteville into a church where he was discovered and arrested and put in jail, looking for his owner. As you know, in 1793, we have the Runaway Act that slaves have to be captured and returned to their owners. So while in jail for 2 weeks, he started writing on the jail's wall in Arabic using the charcoal that was available. And it was just that news that an intellectual writing Negro wasn't very common, and it just spread in town. And after two weeks, Bob Mumford, who was the sheriff, took him home. And Bob Mumford was related to the Owen family, very prominent family, was in-law to James Owen. And James Owen came over and took Omar home. And then the new connection between the Owen family and Omar started, and that is basically the life of Omar. Omar lived until the beginning of the Civil War. He died in 1863.
But Carl, there's a significant amount of there's a fair amount of unpacking we can do there. Well, let's start with the fact, Carl, that he is in a jail in Fayetteville, and he's writing, and there's this beautiful scroll in Arabic script that's going up on the walls, and it's attracting a lot of people, which is phenomenal in and of itself. But also the reason they pulled him out is because this is running counter to the narrative of white supremacy and the whole premise of slavery, right, Carl?
Well, that's right. And the prejudice was so strong that people had a difficulty in actually recognizing who this man was. And when it became clear that he was educated and literate, they said, well, this couldn't possibly be an African. And we find people making up stories about him that maybe he was an Arabian prince who somehow ended up here in a romantic fashion. So the writing was fascinating to people, but they didn't know what to make of it, and it was ultimately incomprehensible.
Yeah, but also we need to get him out of there because this public display of this kind of intellect is not anything we want. So let's take him out of public view, which I find fascinating. And by also this year, 1808, when he arrives, is significant. As you point out, this is the year that it becomes illegal for the transatlantic trade. So there's no more foreign trade in slavery. It's still legal in the United States, but you can't import slaves anymore. This was the end, and the fact that Omar himself was captured is a suggestion that even the slave traders understood that things were running to an end and were getting desperate and reaching into the towns where not the typical slave trade were to be found. Is that right?
Yes, that is true. And Omar was too old to be enslaved. He was 37, and normally, according to many studies, age of slaves were really young, up to 30 or 25 maximum. You can just imagine the traders, they need to make money, so they will take the last one available. So it is also very, very important for us to look at, I think that is what Carl was talking about, how Omar became a prince of Arabia. Because in 1825, a doctor from Fayetteville met Omar and wrote an article about him. The article was published in the Christian Advocate, and it was just picked up on national level. The African Repository, which was published by the Journal of American Colonization Society, picked it up, and another journal in Philadelphia, American Recorder, picked it up. And we with few students, we're looking at how once they pick up the same article, they change the title of the article. So you can see an evolving image of Omar from the Prince of Arabia, from someone from Timbuktu, from so on. So there was a remaking of Omar's image during this earlier time, actually.
But it was a national image. It was one that was becoming well known all across the country. Is that right?
Right. I mean, earlier, I mean, I remember reading somewhere that the most popular images in the antebellum South were basically Frederick Douglass and Omar ibn Said. Because, as you know, abolitionists, they pick up the case of Omar because that is a very marketable case, that here's someone who is prince, who is educated, and he had to spend the rest of his life enslaved in the what so used to be called the peculiar institution of slavery. So that.
I started looking at these Fulani people, and I'm like, these people look more like us than anybody I've seen in Africa, for real. Oh, there's more. It's all gonna connect. I kind of gotta just read through shit, you know, because that's kind of how I build on it, go down the rabbit hole. I hear a name, I look it up. This is very interesting here. Born in Timbo, Guyana, in approximately 1770, Bilali came from a Muslim family and was highly educated. Bilali had knowledge of high-level Islamic studies, including Hadith, Sharia. If you don't know, that's Islamic law, jurisprudence, and tafsir. He was known as the first Muslim American scholar. However, he was captured. I said he was captured as a teenager and taken to the Caribbean. And then by 1802, he was sent to Sapelo Island. Now, maybe you don't know where Sapelo Island is.
Christopher Columbus actually knew that America existed.
Let's take a little look at Sapelo Island real quick. You know, before we get there and get too far away, and since he just mentioned Columbus,
and he was aware that Muslims lived there. So how did Muslims first discover America?
he don't know either. Let me X out of some of these. That's right. The island. We just let that sit there for a second. Let's read a little bit more about him before we get to the island. His slave owner, Thomas Spalding, gave his slaves rare freedom, which was not provided elsewhere, especially in the South. Thomas Spalding allowed his slaves to practice their own religion and did not force them to convert to Christianity. What year is this? 1802? Okay.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
It said in 1802, he was sent to Sapelo Island. His slave owner, Thomas Spalding, gave his slaves rare freedom. And this is from WisconsinMuslimJournal.org. Which was not provided elsewhere, especially in the South. Thomas Spalding allowed his slaves to practice their own religion and did not force them to convert to Christianity. This slave owner also did not deprive his slaves of basic necessities such as food and clothing. He even allowed Bilali to build a small mosque on his big plantation.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne, Intimidati, or some bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
I said this slave owner also did not deprive his slaves of basic necessities such as food and clothing. He even allowed Bilali to build a small mosque on his big plantation. This mosque is believed to have been the first mosque in North America. On this plantation, Bilali became an overseer or manager to about 500 slaves. Bilali was a trustworthy man, and this was proved when Spalding left his plantation with his family in fear of British attack. He left Bilali in charge to manage the plantation, gave his slaves weapons to defend the island. Slaves, y'all. Bilali was highly literate. Let me blow this up, man. Pause. Where we at? We at 1802. Fuck is these niggas talking about? Bilali was highly literate and considered by his fellow slaves to be a community leader and educator. He also used his Muslim faith to motivate his fellow slaves. Some of his writings have been preserved in the Georgia State Library in Atlanta. Bilal Muhammad died in 1857 and was buried with his copy of the Quran and his prayer rug. A 13-page Arabic manuscript was found amongst his belongings.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. She from Senegal too. Look familiar? Look familiar? This the hijack. The Mother Mosque of America, oldest mosque in the U.S. in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Construction was completed on February 15th, 1934. On one side of the main entrance is a sign that reads Muslim Temple. And on the other side, a sign with the Arabic message, Al Nadi Al Islami, meaning Islamic Club.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Now y'all know why they was blowing everything up. So now I got to do a little more research on these, you know what I'm saying, these lost temples. Tulum Temple. Because I'm getting a certain kind of vibe when I see shit like this in Mexico here. You see this? It's just kind of odd, ain't it? Right here on the coast. Watch me make it make sense. Watch me make it make sense, tribe. Mexico. Tulum ruins along Caribbean coastline. Watch me make it make sense. I'm about to fuck them up. Uh-oh. That's cool. We got more. Now, these are ruins of a mosque, and this isn't in America. You see the minaret. This is why Columbus could see the mosque from the ocean. And for all my St. Louis niggas, you gonna love this. We'll get back to that. We'll say that for the we'll say that for the cherry on top. We'll say that for the cherry on top. Let me show y'all something about Atlantis. Told y'all I'm gonna get y'all culture back tonight.
Miss Ken, welcome to this house. Standing tall within the city limits of St. Louis, Missouri is a mysterious tower. But why is it here? When was it built? And what is its purpose? Let's find out. Built in 1898, the Compton Hill Tower.
No, slow down. Don't try to speed past the renovations. A mysterious tall tower.
Missouri is a mysterious tower. But why is it here? When was it built? And what is its purpose? Let's find out. Built in 18...
Now, as you can see, it's already built. All they did was put some motherfucking scaffolding around it.
1998, the Compton Hill Water Tower is the youngest of 3 remaining standpipe water towers in St. Louis, whereas in 1901,
it's already right there.
more than 423 standpipe-style water towers existed in the United States. As of 2008, in the United States, standpipe-style 1901, more than 423.
So in 1901, they had 423 standpipe style water towers. All right. So now we're gonna do a whole motherfucking build on this shit. All right. Because this shit ain't no motherfucking water tower. All right. This shit far from the motherfucking river, too, boy. We're gonna get to it though. All right. Oh, I got you, Godfather. We finna fuck them up. Now we're gonna let them hijack a little more though.
3 standpipe-style water towers.
I just want you to see in 1901 they have 423 of these in the United States. All right.
Existed in the United States.
All right. 423 of them in the United States. Where they at? Where they go? We're gonna find out. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, I'm about to show out. This just part 1. Part 2 already loaded. And it's better than this.
In the United States. As of 2008, only about a dozen remain standing, 3 of which are here in St. Louis, Missouri. Only about a dozen remain standing. 2008, only about a dozen remain standing, 3 of which are here in St. Louis, Missouri. Only about a dozen remain standing, 3 of which are here in St. Louis. Only about a dozen remain standing, 3 of which are here in St. Louis, Missouri.
This is a water tower, y'all. Peep it.
The 179-foot tall tower was built to disguise a 6-foot by 130-foot tall standpipe in its interior.
Is we expected to believe that this just some fucking pipe standing up in the sky? That's what we supposed to believe, y'all? You see this shit? It says the water tower was retired in 1929 after only 30 years in use when the Howard Bend plant.
In 1929, after only 30 years in use, when the Howard Bend plant was put into service. The static head from the
Oh man, I gotta turn the music off for this shit.
Stacy Park Reservoir in what is now the St. Louis suburb of Olivet caused an overflow of pure chemically treated water into the sewer system. The Compton Hill Water Tower was declared a city landmark in 1966 and added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1972. In 1969, Interstate 44 was constructed through the northern edge of the park, reducing the area of the park to its present size. The reservoir and water tower were renovated in 1999 at a total cost of $19 million. Occasionally, the observation total cost of $19 million at a total cost of $19 million. In 1999 at a total cost of $19 million. Water tower were renovated in 1999 at a total cost of $19 million. Occasionally, the observation deck at the top of the tower is open to the public, allowing visitors to see 360-degree panoramic views of the city.
360-degree panoramic views of the city. That's some water tower.
As experts in online
That's
education.
that's some water tower. Yeah, we experts on online education. Yeah, bitch. Man, I got too much powerful shit for y'all, man. I can't even run no commercials. Goddamn, we working, man. We fucking them up. Hold on. We fucking them up. Hold on. I ain't even let y'all see what that was the takeover.
These two towers are similar as they were both built to be standpipe water towers, making
Here they go, these motherfucking standpipe water towers. Now look at this shit. It's St. Louis. St. Lulu, stand up.
Today we are discovering two mysterious towers in the College Hill neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri. Standing tall over the surrounding buildings, the
Y'all see this?
scale of these towers overpowers the surrounding neighborhood. But why are they here and what are they for? Let's find out. If you saw our recent video about the tower at the Compton Hill Reservoir, you could probably guess the answer. These two towers are similar as they were both built to be standpipe water towers, making St. Louis the American city with the most of these elaborate structures. St. Louis the American city with the most of these elaborate structures. Towers, making St. Louis the American city with the most of these elaborate structures. The Bissell by William S. Eames in 1885. The Bissell Street Water Tower. Designed by William S. Eames in 1885, the Bissell Street Water Tower once served the surrounding neighborhood. It was designed.
The new St. Louis Water Tower. That's what that is, huh? That's what that is. That's not what that is.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
I started Jewel Dance where
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Well,
Hi everyone, my name is Ken. Welcome to This House. Today we are discovering two mysterious towers in the College Hill neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri. Standing tall over the surrounding buildings, the scale of these towers overpowers the surrounding neighborhood. But why are they here and what are they for? Let's find out.
well, you know, it's like watching a white boy rap, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I could do it better, y'all. Respectfully, song like that, brother. I don't want to be like that. Whatever. I don't know what he got going on. His hat look kind of funny though. I'm gonna keep it all the way gator. So you got this mysterious tower, allegedly, 423 of them. I ain't gonna do no overkill like my nigga Smoke Signal said. Shout out Smoke Signal. Let's do a little more reading before we end this one. I want to make sure I get every tab. This is an essay here. Sam Hasselby is a historian and senior editor at Aeon. He was a junior fellow at the Harvard Society of Fellows and a faculty member at the American University of Beirut and the American University of Cairo. His book, The Origins of the American Religious Nationalism, came out in paperback 2016, and he has been widely reviewed. How interesting. They would pop up, wouldn't they? The first words to pass between Europeans and Americans, one-sided and confusing. Excuse me. It's too much for me to handle. I'm getting excited.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
It says the first words to pass between Europeans and Americans, one-sided and confusing as they must have been, were in the sacred language of Islam.
Because you going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9. Because I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary. Because we keep God first in everything we do.
Christopher Columbus had hoped to sail to Asia and had prepared to communicate at its great courts in one of the major languages of Eurasian commerce. So when Columbus's interpreter, a Spanish Jew, spoke to the Taino of Espanol, he did so in Arabic.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
You don't see all these stripes on me?
Nothing but an antisocial gangster.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
Now here, this is a Harvard guy, and he's still trying to hijack because he said not just the language of Islam, but the religion itself likely arrived in America in 1492, more than 20 years before Martin Luther nailed his thesis to the door, igniting the Protestant Reformation. Nobody spell check this Harvard fellow, junior fellow at the Harvard Society of Fellows and a faculty member of the American University of Beirut and the American University in Cairo. Nobody spell check this bitch ass nigga info.
It's the Spirit of God. See, the Spirit of God is omnipotent, and it works on you. It'll work on your ass, and I can be far, far away, because it's considered conscience, you know. Ain't nothing fell in my conscience. Giving you more of what you hoping for. You ain't hoping in the Lord, huh? You hoping in vain, material, superficial shit. That's why you can't see me, house niggas.
I had to do it to him. It's for my ancestors. Moors, African and Arab Muslims had conquered much of the Iberian Peninsula in 711, establishing a Muslim culture that lasted nearly 8 centuries. By early 1492, the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella completed the Reconquista, defeating the last of the Muslim kingdoms, Granada. By the end of the century, the Inquisition, which had begun a century earlier, had coerced between 300,000 and 800,000 Muslims and probably at least 70,000 Jews to convert to Christianity. Spanish Catholics often suspected these Moriscos or conversos of practicing Islam or Judaism in secret, and the Inquisition pursued and persecuted them. Some almost certainly sailed in Columbus's crew, carrying Islam in their hearts and minds. 8 centuries of Muslim rule left a deep cultural legacy on Spain, one evident in clear and sometimes surprising ways during the Spanish conquest of the Americas. Bernal Diaz del Castillo, the chronicler of Hernan Cortez's conquest of Mesoamerica, admired the costumes of native women dancers by writing, "Muy bien vestidas a su manera aquí pasean moriscos," or very well dressed in their own way and seemed like Moorish women. Oh, but here's the kicker. The Spanish routinely use mezquita, Spanish for mosque, to refer to Native American religious sites. Traveling through Anahuac, today's Texas and Mexico, Cortez reported that he saw more than 400 mosques.
That's the same cologne I wear.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same cologne I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
Islam served as a kind of blueprint or algorithm for the Spanish in the New World. As they encountered people and things new to them, they turned to Islam and tried to understand what they were seeing, what was happening. Even the name California might have some Arabic lineage. The Spanish gave the name in 1535, taking it from the deeds of Esplandian 1510, a romance novel popular with the conquistadors.
Because you're going to smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki or some bar number 9, because I do not play.
That's the same cologne I wear.
Tabernacle sanctuary, because we keep God first in everything we do.
It was a romance novel popular with conquistadors. The novel features a rich island, California, ruled by black Amazonians and their queen, Califia. The deeds of Esplandian had been published in Seville, a city that had for centuries been part of the Umayyad Caliphate. Caliph, Khalifa, California. Across the Western Hemisphere, whenever they arrived at the new lands or encountered native peoples, Spanish conquistadors read the requirimentio, a stylized legal pronouncement. In essence, it announced a new state of society, offering Native Americans the chance to convert to Christianity and submit to Spanish rule or else bear responsibility for all the deaths and losses that will follow. A formal and public announcement of the intent to conquer, including an offer to the faithless of a chance to submit and become believers, is the first formal requirements of jihad. Following centuries of war with the Muslims, the Spanish had adopted this practice, Christianized it, called it the requirementio, and took it to America.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Iberian Christians might have thought Islam wrong or even diabolical, but they also knew it well. If they thought it strange, it must be counted a very familiar strange. By 1503, we know that Muslims themselves from West Africa were in the New World. In that year, Hispaniola's royal governor wrote to Isabella requesting that she curtail their importation. They were, he wrote, a source of scandal to the Indians. They had, he wrote, repeatedly fled their owners. On Christmas morning, 1522, in the New World's first slave rebellion, 20 Hispaniola sugar mill slaves rose and began slaughtering Spaniards. The rebels, the governor noted, were mostly Wolof, a Senegambian people, many of whom have been Muslim since the 11th century.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster. He is a sort of gangster, you know, because this is a gangster story, but a gangster with a difference because this is a gangster with a conscience. I don't know.
Did we tell him this was from Harvard, Godfather? I don't know if we told him.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you
Muslims were more likely than other enslaved Africans to be literate, an ability rarely looked upon with favor by plantation owners. In the 5 decades following the 1522 slave rebellion of Hispaniola, Spain issued 5 decrees prohibiting the importation of Muslim slaves. No, it wasn't Morocco, it was Algeria. It says, but all of that was part of Atlantis. And I'm going to show and prove. We control the water. It's Atlantis. It's the Atlantic. It's just like Cahokia and St. Louis and the Mississippi River. My nigga, we niggas, bro. If we control the lane, we control both sides of the lane. Press 1.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Now we're going to get into that in part 2. Let me continue to read. It said Muslims came to America more than a century before the Puritans founded the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1630. Muslims were living in America not only before Protestants, but before Protestantism existed. After Catholicism, Islam was the second monotheistic religion in the Americas.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
He was really nothing but an antisocial gangster. He is a sort of...
The popular misunderstanding, even among educated people, that Islam and Muslims are recent additions to America tells us important things about how American history has been written. In particular, it reveals how historians have justified and celebrated the emergence of the modern nation state. One way to valorize the United States of America has been to minimize the heterogeneity and scale, the cosmopolitanism, diversity, and mutual coexistence of peoples in America during the first 300 years of European presence. The writings of American history have also been dominated by Puritan institutions. It might no longer be quite true, as the historian and Southerner U.B. Phillips complained more than 100 years ago, that Boston had written the history of the U.S. and largely written it wrong. But when it comes to the history of religion in America, the consequence of the domination of the leading Puritan institution in Boston, Harvard University, and New Haven, Yale University, remains formidable. This Puritan effect on seeing and understanding religion in early America and the origins of the U.S. brings real distortion, as though we were to turn the political history of 20th century Europe over to the Trotskyites. Think of history as the depth and breadth of human experience, as what actually happened. History makes the world, or a place and people, what it is or what they are. In contrast, think of the past as those bits and pieces of history that a society selects in order to sanction itself, to affirm its form of government, its institutions, and its dominant morals. The forgetting of early America's Muslims is then more than an arcane concern. The consequences bear directly on the matter of political belonging today. Nations are not mausoleums or reliquaries to conserve the dead or inanimate. Negro, talking to your dead body.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
They are organic in that, just as they are made, they must be constantly remade, or they atrophy and die. The virtual Anglo-Protestant monopoly over the history of religion in America has obscured the half a millennia presence of Muslims in America and has made it harder to see clear answers to important questions. I said has made it harder to see clear answers to important questions about who belongs, who is American, by what criteria, and who gets to decide. Yeah, we them hawks. Let me bring the hawk out. Muslims were part of Greater America for more. Let me put this on the screen for him, tribe. Bring the hawk out. Muslims were part of Greater America from the start, including those parts of it that would become the United States. In 1527, I said in 1527, In 1527, Mustafa Zamori, an Arab Muslim from the Moroccan coast, arrived in Florida as a slave on a disastrous Spanish expedition led by Panfilo de Narvaez. Now, we already read about that tribe, but as you can see here, this Harvard fellow has described our beloved Sachem as Mustafa Zamori, an Arab Muslim from the Moroccan coast. Press 1. This shit is in my blood, my nigga. How you gonna tell me about what's in my blood, my nigga? Against all odds, Zamori survived and made a life for himself, traveling from the coast of the Gulf of Mexico through what is now southwestern U.S. as well as Mesoamerica. He struggled through servitude to native people before fashioning himself into a well-known and respected medicine man.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or the bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
In 1542, Cabaza de Vaca, one of the 4 survivors of the Navarre expedition, published the first European book, later known as Adventures in the Unknown Interior of America, devoted to North America. De Vaca told of the disasters that befell the conquistadors and of the 8 years that the survivors spent wandering through North and Mesoamerica. De Vaca acknowledged that it was Zamori who became the indispensable one. It was, wrote De Vaca, the Negro who talked to them all the time.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate or some bar number 9, cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary, cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Hey.
The them were the Native Americans, and it was Zamori's facility with native languages that kept the men alive and even after a time allowed them a kind of flourishing. Zamori saw far more of the present-day U.S., its lands and peoples than any of the country's founding fathers, even any several of them combined. Layla Lalami captures all this and more in her excellent novel, The Moor's Account, 2014, I might add, which follows Zamori through his childhood in Morocco, slavery in Spain, and ultimately to a mysterious end in the American Southwest. Because see, what happened is Atlantis was overthrown, people. See, they overthrew Morocco first. Because see, Morocco was when the Arabs were conquered by the Mameluke Turks. These is pale-faced Europeans, Russians and shit from out the Caucasus. All right. Let's look at some pictures. Let's find some pictures. And then we're gonna wrap this one up and head to the next one. If you tuned in, this will take you right to the next one. Might have to rewind a little bit or something, but Some very interesting photos. Put a few more pieces together before we wrap this up. Let me get some ones in the chat if we fucking them up, tribe.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's it.
And you know, it's funny. They say you need resistance in order to fly. Press 1. Now, I don't want you more Science Temple niggas to get all giddy on me, because this shit don't have nothing to do with you either, nigga.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
That's for part 2, though. I just got to roll up, you know what I'm saying? Make some fresh coffee. I'm going nonstop. We might actually go from here to a trip to Morocco. You know what I mean? And then after we take a quick little trip to Morocco, we're going to spin back to Atlantis for Lost Temples too. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, this shit's so crazy, bro. I done connected so many dots, bro. All praise due to the Most High for making us the most fly, man. Because I want you to get a look at some of these people of Morocco. We're gonna look at these people of Morocco, these people of Senegal, and you're gonna see that we actually had an international kingdom. Because niggas talk this old Aboriginal shit, you know what I'm saying? But then goofy ass, square ass niggas want to always separate you from everybody. Like, nigga, we doing trade with the whole fucking planet Earth. Teaching the whole planet Earth, building pyramids every fucking where. You think everybody ain't goddamn together, nigga?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's same clone I wear.
Yeah, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Now we just gonna look at some of these faces of Morocco. And shit is a lot of shit that you see is gonna start, these dots gonna start connecting. She from Morocco. All right. And what's so crazy is when I'm looking at these Moroccan women, bro, they posing like we like the women pose, bro, in our culture. Watch this shit. You know, these Moroccans, all right? Morocco. Casablanca. All right? Algeria, 1800, military leader. All right? That nigga damn near look like me, press 1.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Now here's the medicine man right here.
That's really nothing but an antisocial game.
Estebancio, aka Esteban, was a Berber-speaking Moor born in North Africa and is among the earliest individually named Africans known to the Americas. See, so they're gonna call him a Moor, they're gonna call him an Arab. They're a little watered down, but this nigga, hold on, but that nigga right there look like a nigga I know. Might be a Puerto Rican nigga, but he look like a nigga I know. I think we had, because, you know, when you look at the map of Atlantis, I was looking at the kingdoms that's on the map, and Ethiopia was on there. So I've been checking out Ethiopia. This is Esteban. This is a portrayal of him too. The slave, medicine man, though. You know what I'm saying? Say 300 niggas follow him when he walking. All right, here go an Algerian family, 1900s. Algerians. This nigga face, bro. Algerians. All right, it's Morocco. It's a whole lot of niggas mad right now. Sick, because they don't know their fucking history or their motherfucking culture. Algerian, Morocco.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on the bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
These niggas ain't fucking with me. These niggas ain't fucking with us. This nigga look like Philly OG. Shout out Philly OG. Does that say Grand Chief Indigene? Does that say Grand Chief Indigene?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on the bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
Do these niggas look like y'all or no? She look like y'all or no?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
She look like y'all or no?
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on the bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's same clone I wear.
Tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
This is a postcard of a wealthy Bedouin lady, also known as an Arab. Your auntie smoked too much. No, they don't dress like gypsies. Gypsies dress like us. Here go your fake Indians. Russian gypsies, 1890. Here go your fake Indians. Here go your fake Indians. You can tell the difference because we rich and they poor. Here go your fake Indians because gypsies were known travelers. Them your teepees.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
But we'll get back to that. I'm getting off track. Them ain't your people. Let's get back to your people. Check out your auntie pose. You just look like your people.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimidate on some bar number 9. Cause I do not play.
That's the same clone I wear.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Algeria. Do this look like your people?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfuckers.
See, what you have to understand is we was traveling back and forth between the waters, bro, getting money. We're going to get to that on the next one. We ruled the world, my nigga. Does she look like any African you seen?
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Niggas always talking some old Egypt shit, nigga. Muslims ruled Egypt, fool.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks. Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
Oh yeah, that's what that picture for. I want to show you. I want to show y'all how to hijack. Look at this say. The Church of Haggai. The church. The church.
The birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawks.
So that's why I say, y'all, this look different to me. Where the rest of it at? It's Mexico. The ruins along the Caribbean coastline. She from Senegal. We almost there. We almost to the end of this one. I thought it was the end, but then I'll be having to give you a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Connect a little more dots. Make sure you see clear.
The family spirit of Christmas time burns especially bright in this place. Where nearly all the residents trace their ancestry to 400 settlers, shipped from across the Atlantic in chains more than 2 centuries ago.
This is Sapelo, where the mosque was built, and he had 500 people under him. All right. Geechee Nation, Sapelo Island, Georgia, Sapelo Island.
To Florida, and the last whose black residents have kept Florida, Carolina, chain of Barry Leone. Now Sierra Leone. They call themselves Geechees, a name deriving from their origins in what is now Sierra Leone. They call themselves Geechees, a name deriving from their origins in what is now Sierra Leone.
Now you see these niggas doing this Freemason ass slave shit. Never mind, man.
Sapelo is one of a chain of barrier sea islands stretching from North Carolina to Florida, and the last whose black residents have kept steady faith with their historical roots. But Sapelo's people are fighting a strong tide. With a single ferry line as their only connection to the mainland, they have little choice but to seek their livelihoods off the island and watch its full-time population, now fewer than 60, keep shrinking. Now fewer than 60, now fewer than 60, now fewer than 60, keep shrinking.
A lot of the young people, they want to go off to a place to live. They want to advance their careers because the jobs over here are limited for a lot of the young people.
This crumbling mansion, a draw for tourists and couples.
Crumbling mansion. That was a mosque, y'all.
Seeking a romantic wedding site. This crumbling mansion, a draw for tourists and
a lot of the young people.
This crumbling mansion, a draw for tourists.
For a lot of the young people.
This crumbling mansion, a draw for tourists.
They call it a crumbling mansion. That's the mosque that he built. We just read about it on Sapelo Island. This the Geechee, right? Because, you know, you might have niggas that be like, oh, okay, well, yeah.
Researcher.
You know, well, my people wasn't on that. We're going to find out. Because, see, the problem is you niggas don't know enough. And since you don't know enough, the shit I got on cap, when I hear somebody say something, I know what they talking about, and you don't. You don't.
Georgia coast is an almost forgotten community called the Gullah or Geechee people.
There's a serious erosion of trust too within the black community. Without trust, we definitely can't be unified.
In my family, we lost a lot of land. But the thing of it is like I started something new. I started buying land, and I wanted, because I know the importance of land, and I want.
In addition to these community meetings, the Gullah turned to traditions rooted in those their ancestors brought here more than 200 years ago.
I see mixing and matching, but we're going to get to it. Watch this. Now, this is all the innovation that's been added to the culture by outsiders. Because niggas don't know their culture. Because you believe in these motherfucking Nazis. We're going to get it right, though. We're going to get your culture back. Or that other picture. Let's get rid of some of this. Fucking gypsies. Fake Indians. I love that picture, man. I gotta say that. Oh, they getting high. Yeah, they getting high, nigga. That nigga high. You can see he high. And man, you better believe it. If Hawk said it, man, I meant it.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's St. Clair Highway.
Yes, tabernacle, sanctuary. Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
The name of God, most gracious, most merciful. We give thanks and praises to God Almighty, Lord of all the worlds, Master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thy aid we seek. Show we the straight way, the way of those who aim to go astray. Amen.
That is the first chapter of the Quran.
Cause you gonna smell my cologne. Intimate Yaki on some bar number 9. Cause I do not pray.
That's St. Clair Highway.
Yes, tabernacle,
The birds of
sanctuary.
prey.
Cause we keep God first in everything we do.
I do it for us. See you on the next one. Tribe.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ain't really Indian, that boy
fugazi. I just keep it player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat, girl, let's make a baby. And another one, then I'm back to the trap, I'm trying to double some. She a bad woke chick and I love her tongue. We some jurisdiction boys, we some 101s. Look, don't compare me to no Martin dog, I'm like Malcolm X. Die by our freedom, we'll leave a crack and stretch. Round of applause, boy, you know we clapping text. Chucky dog, child play, yeah, nigga, that's what's next. Open up the cans just like Arizona. Pull up masked up like we got the Rona. We set up jurisdictions when we buy the corner. How you claiming that's your hood and you not the owner? Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a comb, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.
Like my niggas said, bitch, we the shit. I can't keep the peace. If it pop off, then I want a piece. I'm just on release. I'm in go mode, motherfuck the thief. In these streets like EBT, when we at war, make peace with me. I don't give a damn, understand. Fuck who stole this land, white or black or tan. Understand, it's fuck who stole this land. Might have seen me get little buddy these hands. He wasn't no abo man. A lot of these dudes is Sambo man. They full of shit like my ammo can.
When I say, who's the master? You say,
I'm talking about straight business, man. I know they don't like me. They be all on the internet talking about the pimp. Pimp rap like he writing nursery rhyme. Pimp this and pimp that. You know what though, bitch? Say you put your real motherfucking address and your phone number on that shit. You ain't saying nothing, nigga. Hide behind them email address. You a hoe.
Call this story telling the truth.